Hey everyone, my name is Joshua Vasquez. I am a certified health and wellness coach, and I want to talk about two things today that it's kind of a fad right now and people are doing it. And one thing I agree with, one thing I don't agree with. I have a couple concerns about that, and I'm going to share those things with you today. Always check with your primary care physician. I'm a doctor, I'm a wellness coach. Enough about that. Two things I want to talk about. One is intermittent fasting, or IF. Something that people are doing now. I'm going to talk about that here in a second. The second thing I want to talk about is the keto diet. Keto diet, ketosis. What is all that about? Well, we'll find out in a minute. Let's go back to IF. IF, I believe, is a wonderful thing people should do if they're trying to lose weight. If you're eating a good, balanced, whole foods diet, good job. It's tough to not eat for 16 hours, and it's tough to only eat for a period of 8 hours in a day. IF is good if you are eating, if those 8 hours are in the first part of the day. So let's say you start eating at 8 or 9 o'clock. You shouldn't eat again after 4 or 5. Here's some reasons why. If you're eating in the evening, like before you go to bed, and guess what your stomach's doing all night while you're sleeping? It's trying to digest that food. It messes up your sleep. And people that get bad sleep tend to be more overweight. So think about it like this. If you go on a road trip, do you fill up your gas tank before the trip or after the trip? Obviously you fill it up before the trip. Think about your day as a road trip. Do you fill up your tank at the beginning of the day or at the end of the day? Well, you want to fill it up at the beginning of the day because that's what you're going to burn throughout the whole day. If you're filling up your tank at the end of the day, you're just stockpiling fuel. You don't want to stockpile fuel because that's the reason why you're doing IF anyways, because maybe you stockpiled some fuel. When you do IF, you should only eat the most 3 meals a day. All right? One when you start the clock, one 4 hours later, and then one 4 hours later. You gotta give your stomach a break. If you're eating 5-6 meals during that time or just snacking all day, it's terrible, okay? It's terrible, okay? By the way, there's no such thing as a healthy snack unless you're eating it with your meal. This is how digestion works. So let's say you have your breakfast in the morning, all right, 8 o'clock. You eat eggs, toast, oatmeal, whatever. And then let's say a couple hours later, you're at work, someone brings a box of donuts or some nice healthy treat, even that they made at home that they're trying out. So you eat that, something has just happened to your digestion. So your breakfast has been digesting for 2 hours, it's 10 o'clock now. And now you've eaten this, whatever, 2 hours later. And the way your digestive system works is whatever it's already processing, when you add something new, it stops right where it is. And it waits for that new thing to catch up to where that first thing is in the process. And then they start moving together, okay? No one left behind. Think about that, okay? No food left behind in your digestive system, all right? So your breakfast has stopped and it's waited, let's say 2 hours for that snack to catch up. So now they're both digesting together. Well, guess what? It's lunchtime. So you're going to go get lunch. Well, you interrupt your digestion again with lunch, and your breakfast stops, your snack stops, it waits for lunch to catch up. Then the boss says, hey, I'm treating everybody to whatever, a McFlurry, okay? So now you've got this more food that goes into your stomach, it stops your breakfast, stops your snack, stops your lunch, and now it waits for the McFlurry to catch up. Hey, I got some sunflower seeds, I'm gonna eat on the ride home. So you start chewing on those. Breakfast stops, snack stops, lunch stops, snack stops, waits for the sunflower seeds to catch up. Then you eat dinner, and obviously, guess what happens? Breakfast, snack, lunch, snack, sunflower seeds, waits for dinner to catch up. By the time you go to bed, your stomach has been working all day. It's exhausted. Imagine going to work, working all day without a single break, without a lunch break, and just going all day. Get home, you're tired. All right, that's the way your stomach is right now. Then you go to sleep. And all night, your stomach is trying to digest breakfast, snack, lunch, snack, sunflower seeds, dinner. Terrible. All right, terrible. That's why people get acid reflux, because the whole day your stomach is pumping hydrochloric acid trying to digest this food. And then you lay down, you got all this acid in your stomach, and you get acid reflux, and your sleep is terrible. Wake up tired every single day. That's why you should eat with at least 4 hours in between each meal. So if you're doing IF, start the clock when you eat another meal, and then eat something light in the evening. You'll get the best results that way. You'll sleep better, it'll help your hormones, so many good things. All right, that's IF. Now let's talk about the keto diet. Keto diet is basically a rebranding of the Atkins diet. Well, let's just say there are better things that you can do to your body than the keto diet. Keto diet, lots of animal proteins, cheese, bacon, hamburgers, chicken, turkey, just all the protein you can get. Here's some things about animal proteins that you should know about. One, they're high in protein. So if you're eating lots of animal proteins, you're gonna put a burden on your kidneys. I'm coaching a lady right now who was doing a low carb diet, and she actually had kidney problems. The doctor told her she needed to stop immediately or she was gonna lose her kidneys. Animal proteins, high cholesterol. You're eating a high cholesterol diet. We all know that cholesterol does what? It stops the arteries, okay, or clogs the arteries, creates plaque, and eventually you have a heart attack. So keto diet is great short term. Long term, it's gonna kill you. Animal proteins, no fiber. So you run the risk of heart disease, stroke, and colon cancer. A lot of people that did Atkins diet ended up with colon cancer because no fiber. So you get cholesterol and no fiber, two very bad things. Now, here's the thing about eliminating carbs from your diet. Okay, your brain needs carbs. It runs on carbs. If you notice, you do keto diet, you're gonna be low on energy, you're gonna be drained. It's really hard for your body to digest all these proteins, especially animal proteins. So what happens when you go on a low carb diet? Your metabolism slows down. Over time, your metabolism slows down because it's not getting the thing that it normally runs on, carbs. So guess what happens when you stop the keto diet and you begin to add carbs into your diet? Well, your metabolism is much slower than it was before, if that was a problem, and well, you're just gonna blow up again. That's basically what's gonna happen, and it happens to people all the time. Oh, I went on the keto diet, it was great. When I stopped, I ended up with more weight than I had. So many people say that I work. And that's why, because your metabolism slows down. Once you're done with the diet, then game over. Here's the thing about carbs. Carbs are good. Carbs are what? They are good. Like I said, your brain runs on them. There's nothing wrong with a potato. Potatoes are healthy for you. The problem with the potato is when you put tons of butter, tons of salt, bacon, sour cream, you put all the fixies on there, now you got this load of fat with a bit of starch. Now the potato is bad for you. All right, bread, what do we do with bread? We smother it in mayonnaise, we smother it in cheese, we smother it in ham and turkey and all these things, and now it's bad for you. The best thing that you can do for your body is give it a whole food, whole, well-rounded diet. This is a diet high in fruits, grains, nuts, and seeds. Look at the food pyramid. Even though there's things on there you shouldn't eat, look at the food pyramid. The basis for a food pyramid is fruits and grains, nuts and seeds. This is what we were designed to live on. A couple things about design. If you were a carnivore, your intestinal tract would be much smaller. Why? Because meat was not designed to be in a long intestinal tract because it begins to rot and begins to do all sorts of nasty things, okay? So any carnivore has a small intestinal tract to get the meat out quickly. Okay, we don't have a small intestinal tract. We have a really long intestinal tract that's made to extract all the wonderful nutrients that you get from fruits, grains, nuts, and seeds. Carnivores have sharp teeth. These canines, go try and kill something with them. It's not a valid point. Think of back in the Garden of Eden. There was no killing, there was no death. Their diet was fruits, grains, nuts, and seeds. After man sinned, then God introduced vegetables because vegetables are great for fighting disease, okay? So God says, look, I know you're gonna get sick now. Now there's sin and sickness, and you need these vegetables to help you stay healthy. Boom, man was still living almost 1,000 years. But what happens? Man got so wicked, they were living so long, they got so wicked that God decided he needed to push the restart button. And the flood came. Well, the flood destroyed all the fruits, grains, nuts, and seeds. This is when God said, now you can eat flesh. Guess what that diet was that God put them on? It was a keto diet. Now, if you look back just before the flood happened, God said, I'm going to shorten man's life to 120 years. They're living almost 1,000. But he says, I'm going to shorten man's life. Well, guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to put them on a keto diet. So basically, there were 7 clean animals, 2 unclean animals. They were eating the clean animals only. That's all they were eating. Maybe they stored grain on the ark, I don't know. But they were eating high protein, high cholesterol, low fiber diet. Basically a keto diet. And what happened? In 4 generations, they went from living almost 1,000 years down to 400 and 200 years in 4 generations. God's plan to shorten their life, he knew what he was doing. So what did he do? He put them on a keto diet. All right, so here's a little bit about what happened with the Atkins diet. Where did I get this article from? WebMD. Findings are based on the data from a U.S. government study that surveyed 24,825 adults who were about 48 years old on average. All right, these people aren't even 50 years old yet. The participants were asked about their usual eating habits, including the amount of carbohydrates they consumed. Benak's team divided them into 4 groups based on the percentage of carbs in their diets. Overall, the 1/4 of the lowest carb intake had a 32% risk of dying over the next 6 years. These people were 48 years old, and the chances of them dying by the age 54 was 32% over the next 6 years versus those who ate the most, speaking of carbs. Their odds of dying from heart disease or stroke were about 50% higher, while their risk of dying of death from cancer was 35% greater, the researchers reported. Shortening man's lifespan. So keto diet is great if you don't want to live long and you want to get results fast. If you want to live long and get results that are gradual, that will keep the weight off, eat a whole foods, plant-based diet, and that's going to give you the results that last a lifetime. Drink plenty of water, exercise. Maybe I'll start doing more videos if you guys like it. So if you like it, let me know. If you have questions, feel free to ask. Have a good day.